It's an honor to have the opportunity to share the story of the adaptive, humane, innovative, sustainable entrepreneurship adopted startup program at GTRGV. I am Sylvia Robles. I'm an assistant professor of practice in entrepreneurship in the Department of International Business and Entrepreneurship at the Robert C. Bakker College of Business and Entrepreneurship at GTRGV. In 2020, the world went through a great struggle. Families were separated, relationships were torn apart, businesses were disrupted, communities were broken. Yet, we persevered and survived the pandemic while empowering underrepresented startups and students. At the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, Hispanic students, who comprise nearly 90% of the student body and come from mostly low-income backgrounds, actively impact the Rio Grande Valley business community. Each semester, students are working in interdisciplinary teams while adopting RGV MSMEs. How do we do this? Well, our GTRGV mission statement clearly defines that our success is to promote student success, research, creative works, health and well-being, community engagement, and sustainable development. And this perfectly aligns with my values and my purpose in teaching at UTRGV. Also, we have the benefit, the advantage of earning a Carnegie Foundation's Community Engaged classification and striking the ASH STAR goal for excellence in sustainability. This clearly helps us a lot in promoting this type of activities as we promote sustainability and community engage across campuses. Of course, during the pandemic, it was really hard to transfer from the face-to-face to the online environment. A lot of the courses that had a component in international, in the online service learning were disrupted. So we were really happy to continue assisting our women-owned, mostly women-owned support entrepreneurs in the development of a sustainable business model through my entrepreneurship courses and the humane, innovation, sustainable-based entrepreneurship model to support their enterprises. However, during 2020, because of COVID, most of the community engaged programs were canceled or postponed. So this model, Adopt a Startup, allowed me to continue the continuation of these community engaged scholarship projects and maintain quality, innovative education for sustainability and community outreach by transitioning to a virtual platform of collaboration. How did I do it? Through the PIRE model, preparing, taking action, especially reflecting. Reflection is a key part, and evaluating, yes, assessing those outcomes and that impact in the community. Of course, the Adopt a Startup program, which is a triple helix model, was able to survive and continue supporting the students who have mentioned and insisted that they learn better by having hands-on activities, by connecting to real-life situations, and by interacting with different students from different disciplines. So through Adopt a Startup, this program was able to promote entrepreneurship spirit, collaborative research project, interdisciplinary teamwork, communication, and leadership. However, this triple helix model was born in Mexico in 2007 as part of my doctoral dissertation, and will link the universities with the local governments and the micro and small companies. This triple helix evolved now to a quintuple helix innovation model, which means incorporating the sustainability and the partnership. We couldn't do this without the collaboration and the support from many local partners like the Women's Business Center, the Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center at UTRGV, of course, the Office for Sustainability, the College of Business interacting with the College of Engineering across disciplines, Startup Texas supporting our entrepreneurs, Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, being part of International Council for Small Businesses as a speaker, as a student in so many trainings and workshops has allowed me to develop many skills that now I can transfer to my students. Being a reviewer for sustainability grants and venture wealth has also been very helpful, as well as being a speaker at the Open Venture Well. All these, plus the ecosystem, entrepreneurial ecosystem at UTRGV and the Small Business Administration, has fostered these activities, this model, and these students. We go out of the building, as I mentioned, we are trying to build up the students' communication, leadership, data-informed decision-making, community service, cross-cultural understanding, and professionalism skills, fostering the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the Rio Grande Valley and beyond. How do we do this? By pushing our students out of their shells, testing, going and talking to real-life customers. And we did this not only in the face-to-face pre-pandemic, but after or during the pandemic as well. And how I do it, I use the business model canvas and, of course, infusing sustainability, because now we cannot think about just developing a business model to have a business plan. No, that's not our task. Our objective is to develop sustainable business models. So these companies, yes, we're interested on making profits, making them profitable, making sure they have a fit between the market and the product, but most of it, that these are sustainable, and the students learn to evaluate the sustainable development goals as they go through the research process. We did this through online environment and through face-to-face. Our true sustainable development is all about finding that sweet spot where synergies are exploited while negative impacts are minimized. So we are looking into the future, we hope for the future, and the purpose of our students' intervention is to create a leadership, sustainability leadership. We need a new generation of leaders who are longer-term thinkers, who have more vision, who are more persistent, more adaptable, and more connected. And so how do we do this? Our students develop critical, value, strategic, future, system, and design thinking skills that build up their interpersonal competencies to become change agents for sustainable development. As you see here, we have been trying to promote those 7 characteristics that are evident in being leaders in promoting sustainability. We want to transform our environment. How do we do this? By taking our students, shadowing other entrepreneurs, learning from them, so they can develop these overall future thinking. Is what do we do now that will transform our future? And so through Adopt a Startup, our students interact with different companies, but the students in the classroom learn from different startups, not only from their own. So they develop this leadership, this interdisciplinary teamwork. Now that we are collaborating with the senior design students from the College of Engineering, we are supporting their projects, and our students, business students, are learning from engineers. Engineers are learning from our students. Now more majors are trying to collaborate with us, which is amazing, because we are building partnerships. We are trying to expand this knowledge, and change agents for sustainable development is our goal for our students to develop those skills. And so we are starting to see the fruits of the collaboration by seeing these students, these teams impacting already the local community in different important areas, sustainable areas like the beehives and the mesquite and some other industries in which we are developing tools. What is the outcome of these service learning activities? Besides they earn service learning hours, we accumulate more than 4,000 hours per semester. That has an economic value of more than $100,000. We complete more than 10 sustainable business models and business plans. And of course, we see now our students being showcased, recipient of the honor with the Future Texas Business Legion Award, for example. And that student was part of Adopt a Startup, and not only was part of it, she launched her own business, and now she's awarded as a Texas Business Hall of Fame recipient. We saw these students in the online environment assisting these startups launching. These companies were launching their businesses online. So what other results we saw in 2 semesters? The creation of 27 new jobs, 4 women-owned, adopted, 9 Hispanic companies. And we saw how these new ideas were launched from different industries. People who just didn't have a business, just an idea, we were able to launch those 6 from 2017 to 2021. We have more than 500 participating students and more than 100 per semester and more than 1,200 interviews conducted per semester. As you can see, our students do not only craft a business plan, they go beyond assisting the entrepreneurs in designing their logos, their websites, etc. As you can see, most of the adopted startups are women-owned, and they are more in the area of Brownsville, but we cover the whole Rio Grande Valley. And of course, you see it's 80% micro companies. We recognize our students by the ones we have a final pitch at the end of the semester with judges, and they get accepted to Kaufman, those who happen to win. And the company or startup that they represent, they get 6 months of incubation at the Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center at UTRGV. Of course, we want to celebrate and acknowledge with a certificate of completion our entrepreneurs who spend the whole semester learning from our students learning from the entrepreneurs, and our students also get a certificate of completion. The biggest outcomes to see and the fruits of collaboration across disciplines is having seen our students placing first in the HSI Battle of the Brains through this through collaboration across disciplines. And most of the students participating were part of the Adopt a Startup program, participating in the Launchpad weekends, in the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization conference, global conference, virtual pitching, and being active in the community, seeing our students, engineers, business for the first time getting to I-Corp Nationals. That was a huge achievement by still promoting devices that will solve a real need, a real problem in the community. Seeing our students working with the 3 pillars of sustainability, feeling confident on addressing not only the SDGs, but also knowing more about the targets and the indicators, metrics. We need to measure what we're doing right now so we can prevent and have a better future for future generations. We are pleased to see that other students from this is a high school team presenting UTRGV as a resource and working with SDG number 8, promoting decent work and economic growth through the work we do. We have seen adopted startups participating at the Startup Texas, winning $20,000 after having our students collaborating in the presentations and the business plans that they need to submit, I was so pleased. I was a judge in one of them, and I was so happy to see our entrepreneurs seeing us as a partner or a resource. That was their presentation. So what's the future? What the future encounters is to see these students that are now just shadowing or helping another entrepreneur to create their own ventures. And not only any venture, like I said, but promoting sustainable businesses that cares for the environment, and they are conscious about the products they use, the raw materials, and they see us as in the newsroom at UTRGV. They recognize Adopt a Startup as a great help. I also want to say that now we have students starting their own businesses, and we strictly collaborate with the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization that I'm so happy to lead and as a faculty advisor at the Brownsville campus. And what are the lessons learned from this? Well, is that we need to know our students' archetype. We need to really, in order to impact the community, we really need to know who are they? What is the cultural background? How can we contribute to develop these soft skills so needed out there and still help the community by volunteering and by acting, as I mentioned, reflecting, and still promoting activities that foster our women-owned entrepreneurs through the Women's Entrepreneurship Week. Every semester, every year we participate. We see our students with a confidence of achieving. This is the final pitch for the new venture creation class, and you see the judges from the community. And we couldn't do this without the assistance of UTRGV, specific departments in training, the call department, the engage and learning department, the community engage, the Office for Sustainability, providing these tools and support to faculty. Of course, our entrepreneurial ecosystem and how we expand, and we are being recognized to promote entrepreneurship and decent place for students and decent education in sustainability. And so this is my partner in crime, my partner from Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center team, where our program is hosted, as startups now have to go through an application process, and we select them and we work with them every semester. Here are some of the judges on the final page who are bringing their expertise and knowledge for our students. And of course, our Dean, Dr. Lance Nail, the Dean for UTRGV Robert C. Bakker College of Business and Entrepreneurship, has been key in promoting our students, faculty, staff, and these activities to foster the collaboration with other colleges like Dr. Alec Lavash and the Dean of the UTRGV College of Engineering and Computer Science. And so I'm being very, very lucky to have been part of as a speaker in different conferences that promote sustainability, community engagement. And recently, I was able to showcase Adopt a Startup and students' efforts impacting the community at the ICSB 2021 World Congress in Paris. And of course, it's been a pleasure to be here and to share this experience. Please, if you have any questions or if you are willing to replicate this model, it will be really, really exciting to me to develop more on it. And you can find me at sylvia.robles@utrgv.edu. It will be a pleasure to continue discussing this and see how we can foster and continue empowering our underrepresented populations and startups and continue infusing sustainability to have a better hope for the future. Thank you so much.